Tap.
Hey everyone, welcome to lucky episode number 13 of Nerds on Tap. Today's show is called Breaking Barriers, Women in Tech, with special guest Josie Keck of OpenText, one of the largest providers of cybersecurity solutions, among many other things, and one of Digital Boardwalk's favorite partners. Speaking of Digital Boardwalk, today's show is once again brought to you by Digital Boardwalk, an industry-leading managed IT services provider providing IT support, infrastructure management, and cybersecurity to businesses across the United States. So, a little bit about today's guest, Josie Keck. She is a highly motivated, energetic, and goal-oriented task leader with barrier-breaking confidence and a strong drive for success. Diverse experience, training, and educational background, which provided strong foundations for relationship building and success across multicultural and socioeconomic business groups. She works with security and IT experts like me to increase productivity in the modern workplace while reducing cyber risk. This is her ninth year at App River OpenText?
Went to 10.
All right. They do a few things, but for today, we're going to focus on the fact that you're a channel-first provider of cloud-enabled cybersecurity compliance and productivity services with 18,000 strong reseller community. Mm-hmm. Wow. Like us, Digital Boardwalk. Right? We're your favorite partner, right?
Absolutely.
To protect tens of thousands of businesses worldwide against a growing list of dangerous online threats. I've gotten to know Josie over the years, consider more than a partner, but a friend. And I'd like to welcome you to the show, the lovely, the talented Josie Keck, everybody.
That was a lot. Thank you, Tim. Very excited to be here. Lucky number 13. I did not know that, so even better. And this is my very first podcast, so I'm excited to be here. And I mean, for my first one, the best one. So happy to be here. Thank you, Tim. Excited to have this conversation with you.
And you get to drink beer.
Yes.
And IPAs.
And you picked my favorite beer.
And you brought donuts.
Yes, I did.
While I'm on a diet.
I mean, you can't have half. Everything in moderation.
All right. Well, Josie, today we're going to cover 3 segments in the show. I'm going to go ahead and summarize them. So the first thing we're going to get into is your cybersecurity journey. Your journey, where Josie's going to discuss her inspiring journey to the world of cybersecurity and technology. Then we're going to get into women in tech, where Josie will discuss her passion to inspire other girls to enter the industry. And of course, diversity and inclusion plays a big part in our discussion today. And then we're going to get into the importance of cybersecurity for small to medium-sized businesses and why it can't be an option anymore, right? So Josie, have you listened to Nerds on Tap before?
Yes, I've listened to every single episode.
So what happens first?
What happens first? We get to taste our first beer.
We get to taste our first beer. And you asked for IPAs. We mentioned that before. And why did you request IPAs? Is it because you like them or because you heard I get headaches from them?
Yes and yes. Just kidding. I really like IPAs. Back a few years ago, I did not drink beer at all. And my husband introduced me, Dan, introduced me to IPAs. And I love IPAs. I don't drink the other beers. I only drink IPAs. And the hoppier, the better. So.
Yeah, I like a good hoppy IPA. I just wish I had to switch to Pilsners and just to avoid that. But I can drink an IPA without getting a headache. It's once I hit the 4th or 5th one.
Okay.
Oh, is that normal?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
It's pretty cool when I go out with the guys. At work, I'm in the men-dominated industry, and we go to a bar, and one of the guys order Truly, and then I order an IPA. There's always that.
That's funny.
Yes.
All right. Well, without further ado, Suds, what do we got first? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Nerds on Tap. I'm your host, Tim Shute, and I couldn't be more excited to embark on this nerdy adventure with all of you. So grab your favorite brew, because things are about to get exciting.
3, 2, 1, go! All right, our first beer of the day, Dank Side of the Moon, from the Third Planet Brewing Company right here in Niceville, Florida. It's a New England-style IPA. Dank Side of the Moon is bursting with juicy hop flavor and aroma, heavily dry hop with Citra, Mosaic, and Eldorado hops. This beer is intensely drinkable thanks to restrained bitterness and a soft, full body to match its juicy profile.
Yeah, the bitter is understated. That has got a very strong bitterness.
Very good.
Josie, what do you think?
Very good. I like it.
Well, now, Josie was asking us before the show if she had to drink all these beers. And we said, well, all of our listeners out there may try to look you up and rag on you for not drinking all the beers because you can't come on a beer show and not drink what's put in front of you.
Well, what I did not tell you too is that I am here also for Mardi Gras this weekend, so I have to pace myself.
Okay.
But I will do my best and drink all the beer.
Now, I pace myself every time I come to an open text event, right? Or a conference where I run into you guys.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah? Mm-hmm. We're not going to talk about any of those stories.
No.
Okay.
You're always really good.
I'm referring to my birthday.
Oh,
You remember?
yes.
Yeah. Okay. We'll save that unless you want to talk about it.
We do that for a different episode.
So let's get into our first segment and let's talk about your journey. Now, this is what makes this extra special is, and to kind of focus on today's episode is, you are a woman. The United States is not your first country.
Correct.
And you're in tech.
Yes.
So this is a triple whammy, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm so excited to talk to Josie about this. So that's my favorite part. So let's kind of ease into it. So citizenship had to be an emotional day.
Yes.
Tell me about that. Let's go back. How long ago was that?
It was probably 10 years ago. It was very special because I waited to become a citizen. You can live here, be legal, and you don't have to become a citizen. When somebody from a different country takes the step to become a U.S. citizen, is a choice. It's not something that is forced upon you. The government doesn't require you to become a citizen. I was blessed enough that the judge asked me to be the speaker that day on behalf of 99 other new citizens.
Oh, wow.
And we were not allowed to take cameras in there, so we don't have the recording, but I still have the speech that I wrote. I just had sworn, that I gave up my citizenship in my other country. I'm an American citizen, and it's very emotional when you say that you renouncing your country of birth, you renouncing everything to be this new person. So when I got back up there, first thing my greeting was, "Good morning, my fellow Americans." So that was very emotional, and talk about my children, my journey to be here, how we all chose to be here. So that was very special. But, just going a little back when I first got here, when I arrived in this country, I was 21 years old, a woman by myself. I had $1,000 in a suitcase, and I didn't speak any English. And I came with a dream to go to school and go back to Brazil. I wanted to get a master's degree in business and go back to Brazil. And I did not know what I want to do, but I knew what I did not want to do. And that's why I came. I came here looking for a dream.
So a lot of tears that day, I'll bet.
Absolutely.
Yeah. My mom, God rest her soul, she German. I have German heritage. My mom was full on German. English was her second language. She chose to become a citizen. My dad was in the Army. They met overseas. And I heard that story over and over, and how emotionally triumphant that day was for her to just become part of something, big.
You're taking me back in time, and I'm feeling it. It was very emotional, and just being where we are today as an immigrant and somebody who chose to be here and chose to become part of this country, this society, I think that I appreciate things a lot more at times than people who lived here their whole life. I embrace this country as mine, the culture, everything to me it's my life.
So you listen to our show, and you were listening to the show with Gio Zelaya and the taco people when he brought the tacos, and you heard me say some things on that show that I told him I would have you go to Brazil a lot, right? So you were going to bring beer back for him.
I called you out last night. I was waiting to see you. And then I'm like, Tim, I listened. You were talking about me in your podcast.
Yeah.
You told me that, yep, she can bring you some Brazilian beer back from you. No, what?
I think I was most impressed in that conversation last night that you listened to our show. We're still a growing show, and it's nice to hear that people are listening to it. So thank you for
and
being.
after today, we're gonna really push everybody. My team is they're gonna have to listen to. I listen to my partner's podcast. I share that with you. My morning routine. I get up, I go to the gym, and I listen to my partner's podcasts or whatever they're doing because I want to know what you're doing. I want to know what you're talking about. I wanted to understand your business. I want to understand you. Because to me, it's not, I'm not selling you things. We're building this relationship. And the more I get to know you, I better understand your business model, the better I can help you.
Yeah, no, and that's totally understandable. So tell me, share with us your journey into the world of cybersecurity and technology sales. What inspired you to pursue this path?
So my dream, I really wanted to go to law school first, right?
Okay.
And then I was working at Fred Levin's law firm here in town.
I saw that on LinkedIn.
So I was working there. I worked there for 5 years, and I wanted to go to law school. Was going through the process of acceptance and all that. And then something happened personally that impeded me from going with my family that I cannot go to law school. So I'm like, wow, I don't want to be a paralegal. That's not what I want to be. I want to really be hands-on helping people. I want to get into sales, but I had no sales experience. So I'm like, so I contacted a few friends in town. They said, well, AppRiver is a great company to work for. Go talk to them, see if you can get a job there. Well, I did go get a job in sales. And this is how little background in technology I had. One of the questions, it's embarrassing, but it's not embarrassing because I embrace this part of me of who I am today, of my growth. One of the questions that they asked me was, what's a domain? And I said, I don't know.
It's where I live.
I don't know her. I am like, I honestly don't know. And AppRiver gave me a chance almost 10 years ago. And I started working on the direct side of the house where I talk to people who did not know I click on the mouse, open your window, which window, And then I talked to CTOs of larger companies who knew way above that I could understand at the time. And everybody at AppRiver was very customer focused, very, it's a family.
Yeah.
We still have our appers.
Phenomenal
Customer
care.
We called ourselves appers. To this day, we still, hey, there's an apper here. We're AppRiver. Mike Murdoch, Joe, amazing family, right?
Yeah.
And they taught me everything that I know. So, yes.
Talk to me about that just briefly before we continue your journey. Tell the audience, so we can get it in this first segment, where that care comes from. It comes from the culture, obviously. So how's that culture built?
The culture is built about taking care of people and taking care of each other, right? I am the account manager of Digital Boardwalk, but when Digital Boardwalk calls or customer care support or billing, that's not my customer. That's our customer. You
That's
are
good.
our partner. We treat you like I take care of you. I expect the customer care support to take care of you with the same care. I like to say, you have my cell number. If something would have happened at 11 p.m. and you know that you can call me.
Have you ever heard from me after hours?
No, you have not. But like if something, but I have partners in the past who have called me like 11 o'clock, text me and say, hey, I have an urgent matter. Can you help me? Of course, and if I'm awake, I would take care of you. I would, like we are more than just clients, partners. We're in this together, in the cybersecurity business together to take care of each other.
Yeah, and that's you bring that up, and that's so important to remember because anytime someone gets into business, and this isn't my first rodeo, prior to Digital Boardwalk, I've always been in the tech business though. And everybody gets into business no matter what industry, what vertical. It's always it's me against the competitors. You don't want to work with competitors. But our industry is so awesome because we all cross that divide, or at least I would say all the ones that get it cross that divide and say there's power in numbers. Because the future the future of protecting small to medium businesses and enterprise isn't about just putting all those eggs in one basket and thinking that one managed service provider or one cybersecurity company or one MSSP can handle everything. It's about everybody, protecting segments of customers and working together and crossing that divide to help one another. Isn't that what you see? And isn't that special? I mean, I co-chair a peer group for Open Text, and I see it in that group. And the fact that we all come together, we hang out together, we network together, we ask questions. Hey, what are you doing about this? How are you helping your employees stay ahead of the training curve? Just one, and everybody shares, and nobody is scared to share with one another. Why do you think that is?
Oh, it's so amazing. And me being a relationship, that's my foundation. To me, like, I nurture those relationships. And when we go to the peer group, I like to say sometimes, I feel like a matchmaker. When I see you and Lewis, connecting and helping exchange.
I like Lewis.
I like him too. He's like a brother to
We're
me.
going to find out today if he listens to the show.
There you go. We're going to find out.
Anyway,
Hey,
go
Lewis.
ahead.
So, just seeing you guys connect and helping each other out, because you can do everything. This cybersecurity world, it's so complex and so big. You're really not competing with anybody. Like, there's so much business, so much going on out there for us to be helping our customers and helping each other out.
Yeah.
So when I see y'all connecting and developing relationships, it's funny. I did my road show, which you did not go to, in Fort Lauderdale. Maybe next year.
I couldn't make that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's my James Bond themed, road show. And at the end, I got asked by several partners, hey, can you share everybody's contact information? I had great conversation, but we were so busy. So we have a plan for next year, how we're going to make sure everybody gets connected. It's so important. We're better together.
Yeah.
And that was the motto of Zix, better together. When Zix and Upriver became together, I mean, I used to talk about it like it was the best arranged marriage ever when Zix and Upriver came together. The culture just was in what we would say we're better together.
Yeah.
And we're better together. The MSPs are better together.
Better together, power in numbers, overcoming, diverse situations and building a better world together. Now I sound like a cliche.
No.
But it is what it is.
It
right?
is. And every customer is different. Every customer's need. There's like this common ground what we need to work on, but everybody has their specific things that you need to work through. So it's not just numbers. When you're a partner, you work different than the partner down the road. So we need to adjust to make sure. That's why I was telling you, I listen to your podcast. I like to have conversations with you. I like to sit at the table and listen to you talk to the other partner. I'm always learning. That's the beauty of this industry. We're always learning.
Everybody should be always learning. You see all the books on my shelves. I mean, I read books constantly, and I'm constantly doing research to learn how to do, and it's not just about how to do tech better, but how to treat our people better, how to lift them up and take them along a better path, how to handle service operations better. How can we be more efficient? How can we take things off of somebody's work plate and automate it so to make their jobs a little easier so they can be more consistent and efficient with what they do? It all goes around, and books and education are the key to getting better.
Absolutely.
And mentorship.
Absolutely. I don't read as much, but I listen to audiobooks.
Yeah,
That's another
same
thing we
thing.
talked about. Like,
Yeah.
I'm always, if I'm working out at the gym or doing something, I'm always listening to audiobooks. I was going to mention too, in today's business world too, everybody's acquiring, everybody in companies are getting bigger. So it's so important to always keep, even though we're a technology company in the tech business, the human touch, the human feeling, the warmth has to stay, because people, they buy from people, they don't buy from companies. It's very easy to go order things online.
You hit it right on the head. People buy from people. We're in the people business, right?
Yep.
People business first, machines
Yep.
second, right?
we need the machines, but without people too.
Yeah. So that's good. That's a good segue into my next question.
Okay.
So, how have your experiences in the technology industry impacted your life, and what changes have you observed in the industry over the years?
Wow.
It's a whopper, and so how have your experiences in the industry impacted your life, maybe professionally and personally? Like, what did it change for you? What did it really? I mean, we already got into it.
Yep.
You have a passion for this. Your passion is relationships and communication. You're good at both of those things. So tell me how all that ties into the impact maybe on your kids are picking up a vibe from you. Maybe they want to get in the tech industry. That might be the impact, because that's huge.
Yeah.
Because our kids are the future. When we're, gone, they're going to lead the charge.
It's amazing. I never in my life thought I would be in the tech industry. I never saw myself as a nerd, and here I am. You don't have to look to view, and I find myself nerding out in a lot of things. I'm not into video games, into like that, but I like to learn new things. I like to learn new technology, and I mean, to me, it has helped me grow as a person. But in this industry, there's not. I mentioned to one of our leaders the other day. I had a meeting with him, and I said the beauty about our job in our industry. There's not one day that goes by that I can say I didn't learn anything new today, right?
Yeah.
Because this industry is expanding, it's growing, it's evolving, and I've seen myself grow. I'm happy. Like, I wanted to be a lawyer. Thank God I did not become a lawyer, but I am happy where I am. And to be in technology, and I know we're going to get into this in a little bit about women in technology. A lot of younger women, people think when you talk to them, they think to be in technology, you have to be behind the computer coding or like in the dark basement. There's so much in technology that we women can impact, from sales, marketing, even the technology itself, because we women have a different perspective of life. We see life differently. That it's not better than men, it's not worse, it's just as different. And we need to have that diversity. I can look at something from my point of view, you will see different, and you need to hear from me. How do I see it to make it better? Because the technology that we have, that we're building, is not just for men, it's for women, it's for
Yeah.
all of us.
We went to dinner last night. My wife Kathleen was with us, and
I love Kathleen.
yeah, she's awesome,
Yeah.
right? I'm not just saying that
No.
because we're on air. She is
listening.
awesome. She is listening. She does listen to the show, usually with the kids riding in the car, and then they call me out, going, "Why are you talking about me on the show?"
Oh.
But no, she's a woman in tech. Now, she was a technical recruiter prior to joining Digital Boardwalk, but from deep dive technical troubleshooting and nerdy things, I'm her nerd, right? She has a shirt that says "I love my geek." That's for another time.
Another episode.
Yeah, but she doesn't know how to do all those things, but she leads the charge. She's our VP of sales. She runs our sales division, and she does a really good job working with people. So if you're people first, which Digital Boardwalk is,
Yes.
AppRiver, Zix, OpenText is, if you're a people first company in the IT industry, you're going to do really well, because we're relationship builders, and that's what she does. And she fits into the mold perfectly, just like you do, Josie.
Yeah, there's so much to do. Like I said, as a woman in this industry, it's it's not just coding or being in front of the computer. And you will know as you work, and like I've been here, I've been here with AppRiver Open Text for almost 10 years now. And sometimes I don't see myself as in technology because
Yeah.
it's just natural now.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes when I have to train new people or talk to somebody, I look back, dang, I know a lot about this stuff.
Yeah.
Because like you're learning every day.
And then it makes you feel great.
It makes
when
you feel great.
Yeah.
Yes. And to me, going back to your question, how has that impacted you? It has shown my kids. Like today, when you posted
Love it.
that on LinkedIn, I sent it to my kids.
You did?
Yes. And my youngest son, who's he's a mama's kid. He texted me back and said, "I'm so proud of you, mom." And that is like
Oh
the
my God.
best
You're going to make me cry,
I mean,
Josie.
that is like that's one thing that you want to hear from your kid. I want
Yeah.
to make you proud, and they want to make you proud too.
Yeah.
But to me, as a, I want to be his role model, And I hear him telling his friends or girl, "Oh, my mom came here from another country," and I hear him
Yeah.
like you're telling about your mom.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that's like the biggest compliment of my life. My kids,
Yeah.
I'm making an impact, and no longer have kids friends who have little kids. I think that I mentioned to you yesterday that I've been looking to writing little technical books for little kids. So I actually wrote this first one. I'll tell you when it's published. We'll see. It's about telling this little girl asking her mom about AI.
Really?
And she's only like 3 years old, maybe. Okay.
This is a children's book or
Yes, a
okay.
children's book.
I would love to get the title of that.
Yes. So it's just like she's asking, "Mom, what's an AI?" And mom is explaining to her. She's asked, "Follow," and like a short little thing, but just to get little kids' minds thinking
Yeah.
about it. Our kids are our future. They're
And
gonna take over.
they're growing up in it. I mean, we had to learn it. I mean, here's the thing. Going back to my first computer, I was lucky enough. My dad bought me a computer when he was 13. Now, later in life, he never really told me, "Hey, I'm proud of you, son," because in my younger life, I didn't do a whole lot to make him proud. But he was here with me at an event at Digital Boardwalk that I was putting on for all our customers. And we were honoring my mom. I had her picture in a frame. Now, and Joel was here. Joel and Mike actually were both here at that event. It was Gumbo Fest back in 2016.
Okay.
And my dad took me aside at that party. Yeah, I'm going to cry. And he told me, "Son, I'm proud of you." First time
Wow.
I ever heard it. Then he reminded me, by the way, I got you your first computer.
Oh,
He wanted to let me know he's proud of me, but I'm going to take credit for your
yes, I
success.
got your first computer. Yeah.
Isn't that awesome?
And I thought about today driving here, thinking like I did not work in the time that there weren't computers. So I was thinking, and often I stop and I think, how did people do their jobs?
Yeah.
And we're gonna get a little more into AI and other things here.
Yeah, we'll talk about it we're actually going to get into women in tech in the next segment. But while I'm reading this next question, I'm going to go ahead and ask you this. This is a mouthful. I'll let you catch up on your beer drinking because you're falling behind and we're almost to segment 2. So let's talk about your expertise in helping MSPs, managed service providers like Digital Boardwalk, find the right SaaS tools for cybersecurity, productivity, and compliance. For this segment, because we're in segment 1 in your journey, let's focus on your expertise. We'll get into cybersecurity in segment 3. I want to talk about your expertise in regards to that question. Now, I mentioned communication skills. You got great communication skills, and you're really good at relationship building. So let's stay on that topic and let's talk about how all that ties together to help me. And, maybe let's use some case studies. Let's go back and think about some of the things you may have done when it came to me. I remember the first time I ever talked to you was on a phone call. And what did I say to you? You can tell the audience. I'm not going to be ashamed, but what did I ask you not to do on that very first phone call where we spoke?
I never thought I would tell the story, but I will tell. So something, technology is great when it works, and technology is not when it will fail, right? When it fails, what do we do when it fails? You will hear me talk about you being cyber secure and cyber resilient, and we can get later to what does that mean.
Yeah.
But something happened to one of our servers and it caused some issues with one of your customers. One of your customers was very upset.
Now, just to pause, this happens across the entire industry, not just with
Yeah.
your servers, and it's happened with other partners. But as a leader and taking care of my customers, what did I want to focus in
What happened?
on the bad thing I did.
Well, so Tim, he's very passionate. He cares about his customers a lot. When something bad happened to his customer, he wants to resolve. I was out of town. I was at a partner visit in Atlanta, and I got a message saying, Tim Shoup called from Digital Boardwalk. He's very upset. He left a voicemail, and I immediately emailed him. And said, let's get on the phone. I was getting ready to go to a meeting. I got my manager on the phone, and we got it. And she and I talked him through what was happening, how we're gonna fix it, how we're gonna make it better, and what the plan that we had and everything. And one thing that Tim asked me, he said, "Josie, please do not listen to the voice."
I'm gonna look, and here's the thing. My goal was to take care of my customers. We didn't really know each other yet.
Correct.
But we're sitting here today, many moons later, right? And I'm still your partner.
Yep.
So leading back to that question, what did you do?
I did not listen to the voice.
But then you told me,
Yeah.
and you assured me you weren't going to listen to it, but then you stepped into action. Now, I made a phone call right before this show to Stan the Man,
Uh-oh.
and I asked him, tell me one thing that you and your coworkers know about Josie that maybe the rest of us don't know. Now, after he told me, I wasn't shocked because I'm like, well, there's nothing shocking about that because I know Josie. And this ties into this. Your answer, this totally handles it. And maybe you can feed the audience back and take this, what your coworker said, Stan the Man,
Stand a minute.
and tie it into that question and the resolution of that question. He said, if you get on Josie's bad side. Now, for those of you that don't know, and we didn't introduce her this way, but Josie is a Brazilian firecracker, meaning she's full of life, right? And you can tell as soon as you meet her. But he said, if you get on Josie's bad side, I don't care if you're under a rock, hiding 3 countries away, she will find you, seek you out, and find you, and make sure she gets a resolution to the problem for whoever she's working on. Is that true, Josie?
It is. I'm very passionate. I think that has to do with my culture, but also with my own DNA, like who I am. I don't do anything halfway. I do my job with passion when I get up in the morning. I like to say this is not my job, this is my business. So when I go on vacation, my partners, even though they know I'm on vacation, but you can always call me. If you want to talk to me, I'm always available because it's my business.
I talked to you while you were on a balcony in Brazil.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, and I got off. I didn't want to take your time, but
Yeah.
you answered the phone.
Absolutely. I answer the phone. But one thing that I've been thinking about, as you're saying, communication skills, relationship building, one thing that I think is very important for us, in this industry is to listen.
Yeah.
Listening is better than communicating is better. You have to listen, and you go back like, what are your skills? We can have all the technology skill, understand the technology, but every customer is very specific. So you have to listen, ask a question and listen. Sometimes it will tell you more than what you need to know, but you need to know all these things.
Yeah.
So listen, and some of the things that I do, when I work with sales rep from MSPs, we do account mapping, what we call. So we look at individual customer, what industry they're in. Let's look what they need for compliance. What else can we do? How can we make them cyber secure than cyber resilient? And we're going to get into this. I think
Yeah, we will. We will. We're going to save that for segment 3. So, folks, don't go away. Make sure you listen to the whole podcast because segment 3 is going to be full of great information, especially if you're a business owner or an entrepreneur or anybody leading an organization. If you're C-level, this show is for you. So we're going to wrap up segment 1 with a couple last questions, and Josie's trying to down that beer now. Let's talk about, I'm going to skip that one, but we're going to go right to the last part of this. What do you find most rewarding? Now, we're staying on this topic about your role in the technology and cybersecurity field, particularly in terms of forging those relationships and partnerships. So we've gotten to know each other, right? And it's funny because when I go to an event, I always I'm going to lose it.
I know what you refer me to.
What do I call you?
The handler.
My handler. She's my handler. She is there to keep me out of trouble and make sure I'm where I need to be at all times. Right?
Yes.
And she bought me a birthday cake.
Yes, I did. Which you did not eat a slice.
Yeah, because I partied a little too much the night before. I had a few too many Nerds on Tap beers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we celebrated the right way.
We did. It was my birthday, ladies and
Yeah,
gentlemen.
we were in Atlanta, and we did business next day. It was hurting a little bit, but we got through the meetings and we did everything we were supposed to.
And let's do a call out to one of your coworkers. And I'm sorry that the name, he drives the Jeep.
Oh, yeah, Omar.
Omar. So Omar, I'm sorry the name has slipped, but Omar, thank you so much for being our Uber that night and taking good care of us.
Omar's great. He's also, when I'm out of the office, Omar is my backup, what we call it. So he takes care of those calls. I tell my partner, if you need to talk to me, call my cell. But otherwise, Omar can help you out. So what was your question again?
So the question is, what's the most rewarding about your role in the technology and cybersecurity field, particularly with relationships and like this?
Yeah. I mean, just knowing that, like, you know, and I have partners sometimes will joke with me, hey, if I move on to so-and-so company, will you still be my friend? I say yes. Okay. So 2 weeks ago, I think that I don't know if I mentioned you last night, I was in Nashville for a partner visit, and I was at my partner's house with
You
his
did mention that.
We were cutting up I was like cutting up a salad for her kids. You know, to me, it's like, I mean, they brought me into their house. I'm not just a vendor. I'm not just because if you know me, you know
they're so nice people too.
they are amazing.
Yeah.
Sean and Betsy, if you listen to this, we love you.
Yeah, but her first impression of me was, man, he's crazy.
I mean, everybody thinks that's Tim.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Just kidding.
Well, at least they're not saying he's nerdy.
I mean, it would good. I think nerds good.
Yeah,
You
no,
know,
nerds are good.
nerds sometimes when I call people nerd, it's not in the bad ways. It's good. It's good to be a nerd. You know, we're different. I like different people. I think that's one thing that I got into this industry too. I like odd, different people.
Yeah.
And smart people too. And nerds are all of that together.
Well, I'm odd and different, so that explains a lot. And you know what? I'm so odd and different. I think we need to drink another beer, Suds.
All right. Our next beer of the day is the Relax Hazy IPA from the Offshoot Beer Company. They use a combination of fruit-forward hops like Citra and Amarillo, along with Centennial and Simcoe, to impart fruity, tropical, and citrus notes. And they use a London yeast to give it that soft, round mouthfeel. No bitterness, no pucker, just a smooth IPA that drinks like a breeze.
Ching, ching.
Say it in the mic.
Ching, ching.
Ching, ching.
That's how we cheer in Portuguese.
Prost. Interesting.
That is.
What's the name of this beer?
This is the Relax Hazy IPA from Offshoot Beer Company.
Well, it's not relaxed. It's
making me relax.
Yeah, but the palate, it's
Yeah.
hitting the palate with a zing,
Yeah, I was gonna say like.
and then it tapers.
I think that's the Relax. It doesn't linger with that bitterness at the end.
Thank you for that, Suds.
You're so educational.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us for part one of this two-part series with Josie Keck of Open Text, where she talked about her journey into the world of tech and cybersecurity. In the next episode, Josie is going to talk about how we inspire women in the field of technology, and we talk about diversity and inclusion. Cheers, my fellow nerds and beer lovers. Stay tuned for more Nerds on Tap. Oh, and one more thing. Help us spread the nerdy love and the love for great brews by sharing this podcast with your friends, colleagues, and fellow beer enthusiasts. Let's build a community that embraces curiosity, innovation, and the enjoyment of a cold one.